All right. Excuse me. Testing, testing. Can everyone hear me? Let's make sure everyone can hear me before we get started here. Awesome. People can hear me. Great. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started here. This is the 2018 or Ocean Class 4 application walkthrough. For those of you who are unable to join us today live, don't worry, we'll have this session recorded and we'll be able to distribute it to you post event so that you can refer back to it as you go ahead and continue to edit and revise your application for our 2018 program. I'm going to go over a brief format. As you can see here, I have the documents of all of the application questions for this year's application up in front of you. There's 15 total questions. We made it a little bit shorter this year as opposed to other years. If you are on F6S, you'll see that the questions here on the Word document are the exact same and in the exact same order as the ones on F6S. I just went ahead and downloaded a PDF version so it'd be easier to go through. And I can mark it up too with these cool little pens and features, although I don't know how to erase it, but that's okay. Oh, nope, still don't know how to erase it. All good. All right, let's jump in. So I'm going to read each question. Hopefully we take about 30 to 45 minutes here. I'm going to read each question and then give some context into what the question actually means and what we're actually looking for the answers so that you can make a strong application and so that you can give answers that we're looking for. So that helps us evaluate you better and it helps you kind of structure your thoughts better. So question one, so this first section is over the company overview. This really as a section is designed for us to get to know your company a little bit more, get to know a little bit more context into how you started it, why you started it, how long have you been working on it, etc. So first question, tell us about your company. Why did you start the company and what problem are you solving? We're not looking for an essay in this question per se. What we're really looking for is your mission statement and maybe your one or two liner on what your company is and what the technology is and what problem that you're solving. You don't have to go into deep detail into what problem you're solving. You'll be able to do that in other questions on the application. But really what we're looking for here is this kind of a 30,000 foot view. So a great example would be I started this company 1 year ago after finding this problem in my day-to-day life. I validated the problem with a few other people in my network. We're currently up to a team of 3. We've been working on it for about a year. We have some early growth with these 3 customers. And we started it because we see that there is this need in the marketplace and that we are uniquely qualified to solve this problem, and here's why. So not a big essay, but we're looking for 3 to 5 sentences here. You don't have to go into too much detail. If you're just coming out of some schooling, a great answer would be, me and my roommate started this company. We worked on the research for a little bit with an adjunct professor. We've gone through 3 product iterations. We have a few early adopters, and we're looking to join an accelerator to expand our business and to get coached and to hopefully get some investor relations and to expand our network of customers so that we can continue to grow the company. Something like that. So nothing too detailed. So question 2, tell us what is unique about your solution. What makes you different? If I was to compare question 2 to question 1, you should probably spend a little bit more time on question 2. In any product or company that is created, there's always elements of the product or solution that are going to be similar. to other products on the marketplace, but there's going to be that one or two features that makes you uniquely different from your competition. You can get very detailed here. So there might be a specific algorithm or a different way that you do things, or your user experience might be different, or you might your solution may be faster or more cost efficient. Whatever it may be, here's your opportunity to really dive in and describe what's truly unique about your solution. And maybe you can even go as far to tell us a little bit about the timeline of, here's what our first assumption was. We thought that this was going to be our unique solution to the problem, and what we learned was that we weren't unique at all. There was other people that were doing exactly what we were doing. So we iterated and we pivoted, and now we're at this iteration of a product, and here's what we're hearing. So something along the lines of that, but I would spend a little bit more time on question 2 than question 1. So let's look at question 3 here. Please describe what customer feedback you have received to date about your product. How have you validated the problem you were solving? I see a lot of people get hung up on this one. They'll say something like, I talked to my brother, I talked to my uncle, I talked to my wife, and they all said that they would use this product. That is not what we are looking for. What we're looking for here is customer surveys. So we're looking to see that and it might not be surveys, it might be interviews, but we're looking for evidence that you have gone into the marketplace and that you have actually spoke with actual people who would use your product. And it might be a business. Your customer actually might be a business if you're a business-to-business model. But we're looking for the fact that you actually went into the marketplace, you've shared what your business is, you've shared your product, and you've actually documented feedback from these customers. I've seen some of the stronger applications have actually included a link in this question to their documented customer interviews. So I've seen someone put a link in here before that went into a spreadsheet, and the spreadsheet had a list of 10 customer interviews that they've done in the past 6 months, and what the customers said about their product, what they liked and what they didn't like. So again, that allows us to see, okay, you actually have spoken to people, they have reacted to your product, they've given you some feedback on what they like, and you've actually documented, what some improvement or opportunity areas there are for your business. So that allows us as a staff, when we're evaluating these applications, to really get visibility into what your customers are saying. Not what you're saying, but what are your customers saying? If you don't have any customers, that's fine. What are your prospective customers saying about your product? So that would be a great thing to add to question 3 if you're really looking to bolster and make a strong application, is to include a link to where you have these customer interviews documented. Let's jump to question 4. Check the box that defines your current business. This is an easy one. I think the options you have are you could have it be an idea, you could be post-product, you could be beta testing, or you could be generating revenue. The companies that are able to get into Ocean typically are either post-product and or generating revenue. Beta testing is also fine as well. If you're in idea stage, that's fine. We have taken in idea stage companies before, although it's not common. I think in the 26 businesses we brought into our program, only 2 of them came in at the idea stage. And the reason was the team was very talented, and both of the co-founders were highly technical, and they were able to spin a product very quickly. But that is definitely not the norm. So when you're checking this box, we're looking for post-product, generating revenue, or beta testing. Let's go to question 5. What is your 10-year vision for your business? 10-year vision for your business, I get a lot, why do you even include this question? 10 years, who knows what's going to happen? The company could be underwater. We could have already sold it in year 5 or year 7. Really what we're looking for here is the why. We're looking for the why behind your business. any business that you create, any startup that gets spun up, typically it's the vision for the future that drives the founders. So when we ask what your vision is, where do you see your product going? Do you see it going global? Do you see it going just national? Do you see it? How do you see it impacting people's lives? How do you see your product developing as you raise a round of funding, as you add more team members to your team? What's that vision for where your business is going? So you can romance it a little bit, but we're looking for a strong vision for what's the possibility. Now, your 10-year vision almost never comes true, and that's completely fine. But we're looking for, that you have a larger and more broad vision and goal for your business than just doing what you're doing right now. So that's the company overview. 5 questions total. Again, just to recap, this gives us an opportunity to really understand more about your business, why you started it, who are the team people involved, what's the problem you're solving, how have you validated it. And again, the strongest applications normally give us as a staff that are going to be evaluating these applications, they give us visibility to actual customers that you're talking to, or the people who are potential future customers if you're not currently generating revenue. If I was to say which one of these 5 is most important, I would say 3 is the most important, and I would say 2 is a close second. We'll spend a lot of time on those 2. So let's go down here. Revenue model. This is always a fun one because as a startup, your main focus right out the gate is to get something that's built, a product that's built, and people can get into people's hands and you actually start making money. You don't really think about, okay, what's our actual model? How are we actually going to make money off this product? I'll tell you right off the bat, the answer we're not looking for in either of these questions is, well, we're entering the medical device industry. It's a $50 billion market. If we can just capture 0.2% of that market, we'll be X tens of millions or X hundreds of $1 million company. That is not what we're looking for, and that is not a revenue model. What we're looking for here is a detailed understanding of how your company will actually make money. And when I say make money, I mean actual cash going into your bank account. I don't mean an exchange of services where the cash value is approximated to be X dollars. I mean actual cash going into your bank account. And we're also looking for a pricing model. How have you priced your product or service? How have you validated that price? Are you going to be a monthly subscription or an annual subscription? Maybe your model is direct sales. Maybe your model is a resell model. There's a ton of different models out there. And if you don't know or don't have any understanding of all the different revenue models that are out there, a quick Google search will give you all kinds of different models. And we also added in there, how many customers do you expect? So this isn't really an opportunity to give a forecast, but we are looking for a little bit of analysis for, if our product is priced at this level, if this is what we think it costs, if our first 1,000 customers we think we can get into 18 months, and that will net us this amount of cash. So we're looking for something like that. And before I go on, I want to take a pause. With the revenue model and with cost, at the end of the day, you really don't know. The startup really doesn't know exactly how much people are willing to pay for their product, exactly how much it's going to cost, right? You could think that you could close a deal and get your product sold within 2 meetings with a buyer, and really it takes 8 meetings, right? So that's completely different. That's a lot more time, that's a lot more energy, that's a lot more cost on you to actually make that sale. So what we're looking for here is assumptions. Assumptions is what we're looking for here. You can even list them out. Say, here are our revenue model assumptions. We believe people are willing to pay this much for our product. We believe that it's going to cost this much for us to deliver the product. So we're looking for the assumptions. That way we kind of understand, okay, here's where their mind is, here's where their thoughts are, but they also know that, hey, this is going to change and it's not set in stone. So we're looking here for assumptions. And I would encourage you to just label it that, revenue model assumptions, cost assumptions with bullet points. That will allow us to easily understand where your head's at. All right, enough on question number 6. Let's jump to question number 7. Please describe current growth. This could be revenue growth, customer growth, user growth, etc. This one's pretty self-explanatory. You don't have to go into a big paragraph explanation here. It could be bullet points. It could be kind of an overview. You know, in the past 6 months, in month 1, you start off with 2 customers. We're now up to 10, whatever it may be. Or you can describe your revenue growth. You feel free to use charts here. You can link to a spreadsheet that includes charts. If you are a B2C app, you know, this would be user growth. How many downloads do you have? What's the average session that people spend on your app? How often do they open up your app? You know, we would want to see that those numbers are growing. And I know that's not always going to be the case. And in fact, you know, typically when you're a seed stage startup, you know, there's not a lot of growth. It's normally pretty even and flatline, and sometimes it's a little bit declining because you launch your product, you have a bunch of downloads or a bunch of customers that are using it, and then over time it starts to trickle off after that first wave of users kind of dwindles off. But we're looking here to get a clear window into what your growth is. And if there's no growth, that's fine. Just say, hey, you know, we've had the same 10 customers for the past 6 months, but here's what we're hearing from them. Here's features that they'd like to add on. That gives us the potential to scale to X amount of more customers in the future. Whatever it may be, we need to have a window into what your current state is with growth. All right, cool. So that's revenue model. So we reviewed company overview and revenue model. I would say question number 6 is the one that's a little bit more important than 7, because I know growth is normally something that's hard to come by. Maybe that's why you're joining an accelerator. You want to jump into that stage where you're experiencing growth. But I would definitely spend a lot of time on question number 6. The strongest applications I've seen, you know, they have a couple paragraphs on question number 6. All right, switching gears here to the team section. So question number 8, explain your team and why you are uniquely qualified to solve this problem. How long have you been working together? Do you have technical engineers on your team? This is one that should be, it's a pretty important one. You should spend a good amount of time on this one. Format, list your team members. Do not write a big essay. List your team members. Here's our CEO, founder. Here's our CFO. Here's our marketing guy. Give a brief bio on each of them. You know, ex-engineer at GE, ex-engineer here, 10 years of experience in marketing for B2B companies, whatever it may be. Give a brief bio on each of your founders. And then I would give a summary paragraph into why, as a team, collectively, you're the right team to pull off this business. What we're looking for here is domain expertise, right? Domain expertise, that your company, and I know this isn't always the case, but that your company has team members that have actually operated in the industry vertical and in the domain that your business is entering. You know, if you are a business that is entering the agricultural space, you know, it would be great if your team, not everyone, but if your team had members or founders on there who actually have experience and knowledge working in the agricultural space. If you don't, that's not a deal breaker, but it would strengthen your application. And also, this is an opportunity for you to also list members who are on your advisory board. So maybe you, as a team who are actually doing operations, do not have the domain expertise, but you have advisors or board members who do have the domain expertise. And we're also looking for, I'm going to highlight here, technical engineers. We're looking for whether you actually have developers on your team who can actually iterate on your product, release new versions, who can actually bring it to life. Again, not that this is a deal breaker. We've had many companies come into our program where they hired out the development to actually get their minimum viable product out and into the market. That's fine. Still list them, right? And maybe list a few folks who you have kind of on your radar for people when you raise your round of funding, people that you can bring on to the team as engineers. Eventually you're going to have your own technical team working out of your office. You're not going to be able to shop out technical work and software development forever. So maybe give a little bit of color to that. You might have connections to a specific group or a specific university that specializes in AI engineers, and maybe you've mentored for them before, and maybe you have those relationships. Just give us a window into where your head is at for what's your current team, what are some maybe gaps in your team that need to be filled, and what are your general thoughts into how you're going to fill those gaps, as you grow and as you have the capital to be able to hire new folks. What we're looking for here is, an honest answer, because you're not going to have the perfect team. No one ever does. We're looking for an honest answer so that we can understand where your gaps are, so that in that way, if you're selected to join Ocean, we actually have an understanding of where your opportunity and gaps areas are, so that we can surround you with the right mentors and with the right team members to help support your business. So question 8 is pretty important. Question number 9, to be considered for this program, at least one founder must be full-time, meaning you do not have any other full-time job or consulting work. If selected, please list which team members will participate in the program full-time. This is an important one. At Ocean, we do require that at least one founder, ideally 2 founders, are here in Cincinnati, living full-time, working out of our offices full-time without anything else going on. We do this because you need skin in the game. It's something that we require. That's important for founders to be fully in when it comes to growing your company, and that you're not doing any other part-time work, or maybe you're not doing any other full-time job, and you're just coming to Ocean from 5 to 10 p.m. to work on a company. That's not going to cut it. We need founders that are full-time, that are fully bought in, and that fully have skin in the game. If you have a team of, let's say, 5 to 6, and maybe the majority of the teams in Indianapolis or Chicago or LA, that is not a problem. At least one of you needs to be at Ocean. We've had precedent before where team members have been around the country, and that's fine. They're able to teleconference in for meetings, or maybe they're able to fly out here and spend a week or 2 in Cincinnati, participate in the program. Maybe around demo day, that's fine. We do require at least one person to be here full time. All right, capital. Explain your capital raised to date and any related terms. This one is pretty important too. The most common answer we get for applications is bootstrap. Maybe you've been able to put away some money and save some money, enough money to pay for a minimum viable product to be developed and designed. That's great. You bootstrapped your way. Maybe you were able to go to your family and friends network and raise $50,000 or so just to get yourself off the ground. That's fine. Or maybe you have an existing angel investor who was able to write you a check individually just to get yourself off the ground, so you're able to quit your job and actually start working on this full time. If you bootstrap, obviously you have no terms there because you used your own cash. Friends and family, that depends. Maybe you used a convertible note. Maybe you did give your friends and family a little bit of equity. Maybe you gave your angel investors some equity. Maybe that was a convertible note as well. Here's the opportunity to tell us what's your current capital state of affairs and what are the terms. You do not need to attach a term sheet if there are terms, but give us kind of the overview, right? What's the note? What's the discount rate? How much did you raise? What are the other relatable terms in the note, so that we, on our end, can be prepared when we start engaging you as a finalist for the program, so we kind of know where you're at. That way, when we start to structure how we're going to give you our 50 grand in convertible debt, we try to understand, what terms do we want to go under. So number 10 is pretty important as well. Let's jump to question 11. Competition. So this one's pretty key as well. No matter what product or business you're in, you always have competition. And the competitor may not be another website or another SaaS platform. It might be something a little bit more creative. If you're creating a product that automates and adds a nice user interface to a process that's normally done on Excel spreadsheets, your competitor might be Excel spreadsheets. Another great example I like to use is like a trunk club, where it's basically an online shopping service where you have an online advisor that's able to send you clothing in a box every single month. Your competitor there might be the person at Nordstrom or at the mall that's getting your sizes and that's recommending clothing for you. That actually might be your competitor. That's not the norm. Normally, competitors are normally companies that are already spun up. They already have a website online, and they're already operating, and that's fine. But don't be afraid to get a little bit creative here. Even if you're entering a brand new space, so augmented reality, virtual reality, maybe you're entering a space that there aren't a lot of competitors out there. There might be different areas of research that are coming out that might be your competition. So feel free to get creative here. Again, the most common answers I see are just a list of websites for competitors that are operating in the same space. Also, here's an opportunity to reiterate how you are different from your competition. So the strongest applications would list, here's our 5 competitors, here's their websites, here's what they do, here's how we're different. So I'm going to circle this one as well here. All right, so let's go to the last section, more info. Why do you want to attend this program? I'm going to kind of clump all these together. Why do you want to attend this program? How do you hear about this program? We also go into our mission. And then question 15, we ask whether you want to opt in for our newsletter. So question 12, why do you want to attend this program? There's a lot of different answers that you can get here. You can give, it could be timing, it could be the terms of the convertible note. It could be that you recognize our mission to increase God's presence in the marketplace by building into entrepreneurs, and that's something that draws you. We at Ocean, we care, we place an emphasis not only on commercial development of your business, but also on the personal development. And we are very, very, we take that very seriously. And, we take you on off-site retreats where you're able to uncover the true why behind your business. And we're able to give you a framework for how you bring your faith and your own personal beliefs into your business, so that while your business is growing, your relationships, right, and your personal health and your personal well-being are not deteriorating as you grow your business. Being an entrepreneur is a very grueling process. So, anyways, I went on a tangent there. But why do you want to attend this program? Be honest with us. It might not be because of our unique mission. That's fine. But tell us why you want to attend. How did you hear about our program? I believe this is a checklist option. Yes, it is a checklist. So we have referred by a founder, online search, referred by a mentor. Maybe you just searched on the F6S platform. That's fine. This is for our own data, so please answer honestly there so we can understand how you heard about us. Question 14. We list our mission there to increase God's presence in the marketplace by building entrepreneurs. We said this is key. Program selection does not require a specific belief. We do not require you to adhere to a specific belief, but does require active attendance and participation in discussions and sessions. So again, this is a checklist option as well, saying you understand this. We do not require that you're of a particular belief. In fact, most companies come in with a variety of different backgrounds and belief systems, but we at Ocean do teach from the Christian belief setting, and we do this because we think that is important, and that's what we believe in, and that's something that has been able to distinguish us in the marketplace. Again, you don't have to subscribe to the Christianity belief system, but you need to at least be willing to participate in those discussions and be open to those discussions as you kind of explore that role that faith may or may not play in your business. So this is a simple one. I understand or I do not understand. I'll tell you off the bat, if you click I do not understand, that's going to put some pretty big red flags out. So make sure that you understand that statement and you're comfortable with that. Question 15, not really a question at all, that's just our opt-in, so I'm going to skip that one. And that brings us to the end of the application. So let's see, let me do a review. So we went over the company overview, we went over the revenue model, team, capital, what competition exists, and then we had the more info section. I'll give you some closing thoughts here. You know, we're looking for a clear window into your business. And for those of you that want to kind of fudge the truth or kind of put lipstick on the pig, so to speak, you know, all that will come out if you get, assuming you get to the final round of reviews. You know, all of that stuff will come out during our phone interview that you do with us. So we get very granular when we get into the phone interview stage with you, where we have your application in front of us. And as we're asking you to elaborate on some of these questions that are in your application, it'll become very apparent to us whether you kind of distorted the truth. So be honest here in your applications. Do not be afraid to say, I don't know. When it comes to your revenue models, don't be afraid to say, I don't know. Here's where I think we can make money, or here's 2 or 3 models that I think might work for us, but we are still validating this in the marketplace, and we're not sure which way we're going to move forward. At the end of the day, this is what an accelerator is for, right? This is what an accelerator is for. We're here to help clarify your value proposition. We're here to help clarify your revenue model and introduce you to investors that could partner with you and early customers that could interact with you and start using your products so you can start getting some traction. That's what an accelerator is for. And that's most likely why you are applying for us, is because your business is at that stage. I'll just do a brief overview here on the bullet points, or give you some bullet points on each section. Company overview again, question 2 and question 3 are most important. What is your unique value proposition? What makes you different in the marketplace? And what interaction have you had with customers, actual customers who are not your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your wife, your spouse, actual customers in the marketplace? What are the reactions to their product? What are they saying about your product? Feel free to link to a spreadsheet here of some of your interviews that you've done. Revenue model, again, the keyword here is assumptions. What are your assumptions for how you're going to make money? What are your assumptions for what it's going to cost for you to get that next customer, right? We're not looking for a financial forecast here, although I have seen that before in applications, a 3-year forecast. I've seen that before. That won't hurt you, but it's not required. Team, the key here is, do you have the team members that have the domain expertise to actually pull this off? At the end of the day, Ocean Capital, which is our LLC entity, which invests in you, the company, you know, we're investing in you, right? So we want to invest in companies that actually know a little bit about the space or the vertical or market that they are entering. That's very important. Do you have the technical team to actually pull it off, right? So that's our way to kind of understand whether, as you get feedback from customers for maybe different features or different iterations on your product, that you actually have the team to then go back to the drawing board and actually spin that up. Capital gives us an overview, of your current capital state of affairs. Again, the most common ones I've seen are bootstrapped with friends and family. I've also seen a few that have existing angels. That's fine as well. Competition, give us an overview of, we're probably looking for 3 to 4 competitors, what they do, where their websites, so we can actually go on their websites and check out their business, and why are you different. Again, you already said up here, you know, what's unique about your solution, but here's an opportunity for you to just kind of nail that down and say, here's why we're different. And then we have the more info section. So that concludes the 2018 application walkthrough. was about, let's see, a little over a half an hour, so we didn't do too bad. If you have any questions, feel free to email us. You can access us at oceanaccelerator.com. Feel free to email me as well at smith@oceanaccelerator.com. The application window is open for about another month and a half. It'll be closing on November 1st, or I should say October 31st at midnight. So the application window will be closed, and then we'll be entering a process of reviews. We do 3 stages of reviews. First stage is an evaluation committee that we've activated. You'll have 3 unique people view your application and rank it based on 5 pieces of criteria. Second phase is when both myself and our CEO go in and do our own reviews of the top 25% or so. That then gives us a good picture of, okay, who are the top 15 to 20 companies, and we take those companies to our board of directors, who then do their unique reviews on your application. So when all is said and done, if you make it to the 3rd round, you're going to have 6 or 7 sets of eyes on your application. So by no means is this one person just subjectively making the decision. We have a very robust evaluation process that's worked for us in the past, so we're going to keep following it. November 1st is the deadline. You have my email, smith@oceanaccelerator.com. We also have open office hours on Thursday afternoons. If you want to drop by our office located in downtown Cincinnati, that is absolutely fine, and we would love to meet with you. So everyone, happy applications, and look forward to seeing them come in. Thanks.